Morning. Well, students, in this video, let us read a famous short poem by William Shakespeare, Sonnet 29. The 29th sonnet by William Shakespeare. Before going to the sonnet, we have to know about Shakespeare. Yes, William Shakespeare, he was born in 1564 and died in 1616. He was born at a place called Stratford upon Avon. Avon is a famous river, and Stratford is located on the banks of the river Avon. That is why the place is called Stratford upon Avon. Well, William Shakespeare is fondly called the Bard of Avon. William Shakespeare was an outstanding English poet and dramatist. He is regarded as the greatest writer in the English language. He is often called England's national poet also. His parents were John Shakespeare and Mary Arden. Shakespeare was educated at King's Edward VI Grammar School at Stratford. There he studied Latin and Greek. At 18, he married Anne Hathaway. After his marriage and the birth of his children, Shakespeare moved to London. He started a small actor and later became a playwright and a producer of plays. Shakespeare has written 37 plays. They are some of the greatest in English and Western literature. His plays are divided into tragedy, comedy, and history. His tragedies were the most significant, they were the most discussed in literary criticism. His most famous tragedies are Hamlet, Othello, King Lear, Macbeth. His tragedies are primarily concerned with the tragic hero and his tragic flow. The tragic flow is the key feature of Shakespeare's tragedies. Next, we move on to sonnet. You know what is a sonnet? A sonnet is a lyric poem of 14 lines written in a single stanza. He wrote total 154 sonnets, and we can say that his sonnet is the continuation of sonnet tradition of Renaissance. Sonnets were actually introduced by Petrarch in the 14th century. In English literature, it was Thomas Wyatt in 16th century. Then we have to know what's the difference between Shakespearean sonnets and the traditional sonnets. The main difference, we can see the main difference in the themes handled. Instead of presenting themes like unrequited love, Shakespeare introduces a character named Fair Youth and a Dark Lady. The major themes of Shakespearean sonnets are the passage of time, love, infidelity, jealousy, beauty. And out of 154 sonnets, 1 to 126 is called the Fayute series, and the rest 127 sonnet to 115 are called Dark Lady sonnets. Next, we can check the major dedicatees. We don't know exactly, but critics said that the dedicatees are still remains a mystery, and some believe that WH and Fair Youth are one and the same, and the WH might be Shakespearean patron. Some believe that WH is William Herbert. He was the Earl of Pembroke, and it was to him Shakespeare's first folio was dedicated. And some critics says that WH as Henry Wriothesley with his initials reversed. He was Earl of Southampton, and Shakespeare's Venus and Adonis, Rape of Lucre was dedicated to him. And while we check form and structure, we can understand that Shakespeare's sonnet was composed of 3 quatrains and a couplet, and written the iambic pentameter, and the rhyme scheme is A B A B C D C D E F E F G G. Then Look at the sonnet 29. When in disgrace with fortune and men's eyes, I all alone beweep my outcast state, and trouble the deaf heaven with my bootless cries, and look upon myself and curse my fate. Wishing me like to one more rich in hope, featured like him with the friends possessed, desiring this man's art and that man's scope, with that I most enjoy contented least. Yet in this thoughts myself almost despising, happily I think on thee and in my state, like to the lark at break of day arising, from sullen earth sings him such heaven's gate. For thy sweet love remembered such wealth brings, that then I scorn to change my state with kings. Have you looked at the poem? How many lines are there? You know what a short poem with 14 lines called? It is called a sonnet. So sonnet is a short lyric poem having 14 lines. Then look at the structure. It is well structured. It has four parts. First four lines, second four lines, third four lines, then the final two lines. So a stanza containing four lines is called quatrain. So here, three quatrains and one couplet. A stanza of two lines is called a couplet. This is the structure of a sonnet written by William Shakespeare. Then I look at the point of view of theme. The first section focuses, that is the 4 plus 4, first two stanzas, that the 8 line. The first section focuses on the poet describes a problem. That is, the poet is in a very pitiable condition. I think the poem may be autobiographical. The sonnet was written around the year 1592. In 1592, William Shakespeare had established himself as a poet in London. In 1592, something happened in London. First, all the playhouses or theaters were closed because of the greatest plague, something like a pandemic, and he lost his job. The second is his contemporary poet, critic, for example, Robert Greene. He says Shakespeare is an upstart crow, beautified with our fathers. This was an insult, like a poet Shakespeare. An upstart crow, he is compared to a crow. Usually, a crow is considered, a dirty, as ugly, dark bird, and he has no friend, he has no job, so he was in disgrace. He was unlucky because he had no job, no income, no friends. People started to insult him. So maybe in these two things, no money, no job, completely an unfavorable condition. So when in disgrace with fortune and men's eyes, I all alone beweep my outcast state. So maybe in these two things, he was unlucky because he had no job, no income, no friends. People started insulting him. In such a situation, I all alone weep my outcast state. In such a situation, what I shall do? This pitiable condition, and trouble, I just cry and trouble the deaf heaven with my bootless cries, and look upon myself and curse my fate. Here, this pitiable condition, the poet says, this pitiable condition, I just cry. He has no friends, no money. I knock and I look upon myself and curse my fate. And I knock at the door of the heaven, but heaven is not ready to hear my complaints. I have worries. I complaining to God, but God turned his ears to my complaint. I cried, my cries are useless. Why God doesn't listen my cries? I look upon myself and look I upon my fate. This is the first stanza. Shall we move on to second stanza? Wishing me like to one more rich in hope, featured like him with the friends possessed, desiring this man's art and that man's scope, with that I most enjoy contented list. Look at the second stanza. I wish I want to like some of my friends who were rich in hope, really optimistic, who were in better position, wishing me like to one more rich in hope, featured like him with the friends possessed. I wish I would like him. They were blessed with more friends, a lot of money. Those people are more talented. I would like, in a situation like this, I think what I most enjoy with the things, desiring this man's art and that man's scope, with that I most enjoy condensed list. Here the poet says, the things what I most enjoy with the in the past, I used to enjoy most. They give me no satisfaction, no pleasure. Then the third stanza. Yet in these thoughts myself almost despising, haply I think on thee, and then my state, like to the lark at break of day arising, from sullen earth sings hymns at heaven's gate. Look at the third stanza. This is my situation, no friends, no money, yet in these thoughts myself almost despising. Haply I think on thee, and then my state, and really feels jealous of my friends who better plays, who are better talented, who are lucky. So in the situation like this, when I was struggling with such thoughts, such bad things, I was just despising myself. Happily I think on thee, and then my state. By chance I started thinking of you. When I started thinking on you, suddenly my situation changed. It was very gloomy. I was in a very despicable situation. In such a situation, suddenly I started thinking of you, your memories. Then my condition changed all of a sudden. Like to the lark at break of day arising, from sullen earth sings hymns at heaven's gate. A sudden, your memory came like a magic. It started making wonders. Like to the lark, mind became like a lark, the singing bird, the bird that singing at the early morning. My mind became to the lark. Look at the beautiful. Look at the beautiful comparison. Earth that is a gloomy, sullen or dark because it was night. At night, skylark was asleep. At dawn, the lark it lifts himself from the sullen earth. It sings up and soars and sings up the sky. It sings beautiful, melodious songs. So, like to the lark, break of day arising from sullen earth, sings hymns at heaven's gate. It flies very high up in the sky, and the poet feels that the lark, the bird, is flying to heaven high, and it is knocking at the door. He sings at the heaven's gate. Angels are singing the well. Look at the last two lines. For thy sweet love remembered such wealth brings, that then I scorn to change my state with the kings. When I started thinking about your friendship, it enriches or it nourishes my mind. Such a moment when I think of you, I become very happy. I become so uplifted. Even if a kingship offered to me, he says, I will say no. For that, for thy sweet love remembered such wealth brings, that then I scorn to change my state with the kings. Look at the last sentence. I just condemn it. No, I don't want to exchange what my state with the kings. I don't ready to exchange the position with the kings. In this situation, I am so blessed with the memory of my friends, so I am happy. I don't want to change my position even with a king. How is it? Well, this is the poem. Do you like it? It's a very beautiful poem, isn't it? As I said at the beginning, thematically the poem can be divided into two sections. The first section deals with the problem, and the last section deals with the solution. Here, the poet talks about the healing power of love and friendship. They provide comfort. The first 8 lines, the first section deals with the problems of the poet, that is the plague and the loss of his job, and theaters were closed. People started making fun of him, and he had no money, no friends. He was in a miserable condition. But in the later stanzas, the last two sections, the poet deals with a solution. This is the sonnet.